We made it. I even think we got like a little bit of the crown molding. I'll play the role of
Oh,
Kevin Ricketts
Jesus. We
tonight.
got to do the crown molding game here.
I think you're gonna like the way you look. Good evening, everybody. Oh yes, a commercial. Let's see. You never played a ball like this. A Callaway golf ball. We're sponsored by Callaway now.
Oh, that's like big time.
That's pretty big.
That's
pretty big. Pretty big deal. So welcome to our new sponsors, obviously, brought to you by Callaway this evening. Callaway Golf Balls. Appreciate everyone being with us. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangolo. This is, thank God, it's Tuesday after the whistle. Season 4, Episode 12. The struggle is real. He's Tim Strachan.
It's like Victory Tuesday is becoming a thing around here. It's like...
And we're addictive
It's
people.
way better than Loser Tuesdays.
It's way better than Loser Tuesdays.
Way better than Loser Tuesdays. But I do have a question. I do notice somebody's missing.
Yeah, somebody's missing.
But why is the lighting feel more like...
dim?
In romantic, it's feeling kind of weird.
So we lost a light bulb right there yesterday
That's
in the set.
I get that.
And you know what? Now we're off. The crown molding's we're gonna fix that. But it is a thing where we lost a light bulb.
It's like mood lighting.
I could have replaced the light bulb, and this has been a 4-day issue. But I wondered aloud, and I actually thought about this. I was like, you know who's really gonna like it to be just a little less lit?
Really?
Tim Strachan.
Really? It's making me creeped out.
I'll tell you what's making me creeped out is we're crooked on the thing.
Oh, Jesus.
It is just a shame. Don't worry, we're perfectionists.
Yeah, no, you are, but that's okay. We'll wait until you play with the camera. No, you went the wrong way.
I was just testing you.
Now you really went the wrong way.
I told you.
Not enough. Now you're going up and down. Oh, you're all over the place, man. No, that's good. I guess that works.
If you take out the line that's crooked, then
You all tell me. You just kind of covered it up. I don't know if it's actually straight so much as you just... What are you doing here?
Just pushing this around a little.
Jesus, I'm in a
There you go.
wheelchair.
There you go. There you go. You got to make the table straight. Then it makes the screen seem straight. Been doing this a long time. There's nothing straight about. But I will say we got it going on a Victory Tuesday. I want to make sure we at the top of the show give a nasta to our good friends from Wales.
Man.
I'll drink to you guys.
I was looking for your number. I was going to start texting you.
We do have Wales watchers.
I missed Wales' goal.
That's okay. You didn't miss.
I know. I missed Wales' goal.
You missed an almost save.
I went out thinking we were going to win.
Yeah.
And felt, I was trying to think of the words respectfully I was going to share with AGH, only to come back in and go, we won, right? And then I looked up and I was like, what? What?
I know. Tale of two halves. U.S. was the better team on the day. I think AGH will agree with that. We played a great first half. I don't think we're in shape. That's my first critique of our team. I didn't think we were in shape to play the same way in the second half that we played in the first half. It was the penalty kick that Wales got. Total legit penalty kick. Our guy got a hand on it, but Bale he kicked it so hard and powerful there was no way a hand was going to stop it. So all that's no problem for me. I thought that the U.S. was the better team, but the result wasn't. If anything, you could do the whole thing about arguing about refs. I thought the refs were a disaster, but whatever.
Do that until your face is blue.
Of course. It's never fun.
So, but what does it mean?
So a tie gives us each 1 point. We're now each tied for second in a 4-team group. England is number 1 with 3 points and a +4 goal differential. Wales and the U.S. each have 1 point for the tie with 0 goal differential. And Iran is in 4th place. We don't talk about Iran.
I don't try to.
So
so it's a 4-team.
It's a 4-team deal. 2 teams get out. Wales. It'll come down to how. It'll come down to one of a couple of things. One thing it could come down to is who gets beat by England worse. could come down to who beats Iran
because
the best.
it's inevitable both will lose.
Well, we play England on Friday, and
Are you not giving our boys a shot?
oh no, well we could get a tie. We could fight for a tie against England, and we could win. I'm just saying, if you look at the odds of
You
how
just
this
went
thing
from
will,
loss to a tie to maybe a win.
I think that.
I don't feel like you're
How about
confident.
this? Whatever England does to us, or they're likely to do a similar thing to Wales. It's going to be kind of even Steven. It might be a 1 goal difference on the total result, whether it's a 1-0 game, a 1-1 tie, or a 2-1 loss. So
If US wins out, they're going.
if US wins out,
Well, then
they're
why
going.
didn't you just say that?
Because it's
Jesus.
the World Cup. We have 5 days to come up with all the permutations. There's all kinds of outcomes that are possible.
I have time to figure that out if they start losing and tying more people. But just
We could beat them, AGH.
Just
We
win.
could beat them.
God,
If both Wales and US win out, I think we're both advancing. Let's put it that way. So, first of all, thank you to our sponsors at Callaway.
if I'm gonna tie with anybody,
We have
I would-
a golf
I would like that
sponsor
to
for a
be-
soccer show.
it'd be AGH. That's who I. That's
Yeah,
the only
exactly.
Person that's the only person I
Exactly.
want to tie with.
I could never be the president of the United States for only one reason, only one, and that is when we play.
That night in 1980.
Not that night. No. There was no cell phones.
Oh,
No cell phone cameras then. No one
But
knows what we're talking about.
it's okay.
Whenever we play another country, mostly Mexico, but another country, at some point during the game, I get so angry, and my first thought is, like, how are we going to start this war? Let's get it going. Push the button.
You would so as president of the United States, you would
Again, in that
declare
second-
war over a soccer game.
Not over a soccer game. First of all, that's silly. I'm saying I would firebomb Mexico in the middle of a game if it got to where I was watching it, it was just like a foul, kind of an attitude, or we're down and like it's not going our way. I'm like, give me the Pentagon on
Just
the phone.
more for distraction
Send
than
in
hatred.
100 stealth bombers.
Okay. That's a tactic, I guess.
I don't know. I just get angry. I get super angry.
Apparently.
So I have vowed to never become the president of the United States.
More so than you're
Because of
watching a Redskins game when they're getting their ass handed to them by
Yes.
the Eagles.
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, it's my country, and we're
Wow.
playing Mexico,
Wow.
and they really get
But it's
to
a
me.
diplomatic relationship.
Not then, not
exhibition.
during that moment. I don't know
Sure
what
it is.
if whoever any of the other soccer fans are out there. I know AGH is one. If there's a country that you play that your national team plays that makes you feel like that, I think Philadelphia would be the closest I come to it. But I would obviously, you can't that domestic. We got to solve our differences inside the border. But I'm sending the Marines up the Yucatan
I would
Peninsula.
like to think there was more sportsmanship and respect at the
There's moments for
at
that
the, at the
too.
World Cup level.
There is. It's all
than
about
at
that.
the NFL level.
Than at the NFL level. Well, most of these guys are professional players and they know each other.
Like fuck
anyways.
Philly. I could
sure.
seriously, but I'm not going to say that about anybody except for maybe Iran
and
and
Mexico.
Russia
And Russia.
and China.
For sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean those guys.
East Germany, North Korea. If North Korea fields a team, I'm not rooting for them. Like, how about I just say that? If
I
there's
think we
ever
can
a
all
t-
agree on that.
I'm like, you know what? I'm
Okay,
out.
I'm getting what you're selling now. All right.
All right, cool.
But I wouldn't do that if it was Wales. Why would you firebomb Wales?
I never would. But there was a second where a guy faked a foul, which is like that's my
Pet peeve.
it's not even a pet peeve.
It's
It's,
not a
like
gear
a
grinder? I
20-year
mean,
roommate
it's-
peeve. I mean, like
okay.
it's gone beyond pet owner status. This is long-term relationship with
Gotcha.
this peeve, and it hit a nerve, and I don't know. I didn't see any of our guys do the same thing. I think typically we don't. I've seen United States players embellish, an injury, but I don't see American guys get hit and then a second later like leap into the air.
Where are you
Eat
then on the few linemen we've now caught that just do the and they fall down?
Our guys?
Yeah, no, just linemen. Have you seen this?
I mean, obviously,
Like 300-pound men who just
It's a
flop on the
Norwell
ground like
situation.
they got slapped in the face.
the
by-
Vlade Divac on the NFL
It's hilarious.
gridiron. Yeah, no, it's a bad look. It's certainly a bad look. And let's see, Robert Cohen on Oh yeah, yep. They got the guys who shot B. Rob. Well, boys, manner of speaking, Ken Harris, AGH, Greg Martin, EO, Robert Cohen, all you folks out there.
The
Thank you so
usual
much
suspects.
for being AGH. Thank you very much for being with us tonight. If you hear anything that you like, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. I don't know what happens. No one does, but something good goes into the universe. Be a subscriber.
Create a heart in the world.
Dude, we're inching towards our goal of 1,000 subscribers this winter.
Are we?
1,000. We're inching. We started wanting 1,000. Now we only need like 800. So we picked up about 200, just about. That's pretty strong.
Nice.
So if you're watching this, it will cost you 0
Actually, it's
shekels.
Yeah, it's a Christmas present
Subscribe.
that doesn't cost you or the person you're giving the Christmas present to anything, except for a love of Washington
and someone
football.
clicked the
Skins.
thumbs up. I feel like it's like this
know?
is like a QVC scenario where I'm talking and like they're watching, like they're selling something, and like they're watching. Ooh, and the phone lines are jammed up, and these things are moving like hotcakes. That's what the thumbs up is. I feel like I'm on.
Maybe that's what the
QVC.
phone ringing was back on a telethon. It was a like.
For
it
sure.
was a heart.
Absolutely.
Before the internet even started.
Absolutely.
That's what it was.
So, our offensive lineman ratio, we get Wes Martin back, I believe, this week. And I got to believe he slots right in. Does anyone here think Wes Martin doesn't play this week? I'd be interested in people thinking that. I got to believe he does.
Can we do anything to make sure that Norwell doesn't play?
No, Norwell's playing. I mean, and also,
right.
as much as we could, Wes Martin could be an improvement.
He hasn't been the problem.
And our offensive line has been strong
at one point, but
we're probably keeping these guys going the way they are, at least initially. But Wes Martin will see some time. We get another guy back on Sunday. Another guy. Arguably one of the top 5 front sevens, or certainly one of the top 5 defensive lines in the league as currently standing. And you throw in a
we all
Chase
thought
Young.
it was going to be last weekend.
So, Wes Schweitzer. Damn it, I said Wes Martin. It is Wes Schweitzer, Greg. Damn you. It's like getting...
We've had a long weekend, guys.
Yeah, but that was
I knew what you meant.
Inexcusable. Chase coming back against the Houston Texans. I don't know. I hate to be the team that has the hubris to decide when they might need potentially one of their best players. You only get 17 games. The conventional wisdom is play your best players every single week. We were famously guilty of sitting Trent Williams, I think, for a game or two over the course of his career in Washington. When he was hurt, came back, and there might have been a game, in particular, one I remember in Los Angeles when we went to, or I think it might have been still St. Louis, when we went out there and played him, and Trent could have played, was healthy enough to play, was a healthy scratch. They decided not to bring him back from his injury. And everyone, we were favored. We were on the road against a terrible, maybe even Sam Bradford
Reasoning.
team.
Why?
We lost because they would never say it. I always thought it was, we don't need him this week. We save him another week. We still get this win without him, and then we'll move on. Well, in the NFL, that's easier said than done. I mean,
no, that's dumb. Yeah.
So, but I think there was a little bit of that with Chase and the Houston Texans. I think they were willing to give him one more week, thinking we could get it done against Houston, and I don't think you should.
Wait a minute. I mean that. Two different things. Like that doesn't sound like a healthy scratch. That means.
Well, you can call it whatever you want to call it.
One more week of.
One more week of. I think if we were playing the Eagles, or if this was the Giants game,
rehab is better than a 1 week less.
If we were playing the Giants,
you put him out there
Sunday,
1 week. You put him out there against the Texans and he gets hurt.
But what I'm saying to you is, if we're playing the Giants for the playoff, for a shot in the playoffs, or if you just flip flop that game and it's a meaningful game and you need him, I think he would have played. So I think he could have played. Is what my point.
Okay.
But adding him to the end of that line, I think is it's going to be. So I think this is a big challenge for Chase being the guy who's coming
the
back.
pressure's on Chase now
To do his job.
Yes.
No freelancing. You can be a great player, and you got a lot of years in this league, and you can be ball hawking and Sean Taylor.
If you freelance, you better fucking make it work.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the pressure's on Chase to produce now.
Yep.
You don't get, you're not the second choice of the entire draft and get all that money and that attention, rookie of the year, to only come up okay. It's time to produce, and he knows that. But that's the challenge. That's the nature of the business. That's not me being a dick or fan. I mean, this is what is expected of you when you are that level of player.
Yeah.
And he knows that. And I think he's up for the challenge, and I bet he's gonna I think he's gonna meet it.
Well, he'll be a good athlete or a great athlete, and he'll be a good to great football player just because. But the knock on him last year before he got hurt, and our defense was sucked out loud in a variety of ways, but the knock on Chase and Montez, for that matter, playing outside of Payne and Allen, was that they weren't disciplined. That they pinned their.
They were getting outside the system.
They weren't playing. They weren't in the position that the system required them to be in, and you can't
play
do
within
that.
the system and still be a beast. That's what you got to do.
Yep. So
it's working so
I'm
far.
optimistic.
It's working so far. 5 sacks this past weekend. 2 Sweat, 2 Allen, 1 Payne.
They're playing defense the way that we know, that's the identity of our team. We're a defensive team.
They're playing playoff defense.
They're the ones that are pushing this whole car up the hill. Yeah. And you add a player like Chase Young, it should. There's no. I'm not concerned.
It should only get better.
Yeah, there's no worry whatsoever in my mind. I'm not concerned at all. I'm thinking this is unfair that you get a guy like a 6'6", 260-pounder, freak of nature, and you just get him healthy, added in the middle of a playoff run. That's unfair.
Let me say this.
That's
though.
unfair.
I had a very credible source.
Okay.
Tell me, unfortunately, about J.J. Watt. Right, arguably one of the best there is in the game right now. This person told me that J.J. Watt was the most selfish player he's ever met because the man freelances so much for his own personal gain.
There's people out there that hate him.
His own personal gain.
Yeah.
And to the detriment of the team. And it's allowed because he is such a mega star.
Yes.
That
Saved Houston single-handedly from the hurricane.
He literally, on game day, will size up the other team, and if he finds a lineman that he's like, you know what, actually, I'm going to line up over him whenever I want.
To the victor go the spoils.
And he does, and he gets a sack or something like that, but it's like he also sometimes is totally out of position, and they get a huge
plus
run.
A lesser player who also could beat that terrible guy now has to go up against a guy that Chase Young could beat, but he can't.
He says it was disgusting, and his whole public image is bullshit.
It's all manufactured, according to people.
I was devastated.
People from Houston.
Not that I'm a huge J.J. Watt fan, but I was like, you know what, that guy's pretty fucking cool.
Just popped the bubble.
Now apparently he's not. He's apparently all about J.J. Watt.
Well, I work in energy. Spent a lot of time in Houston over the last 10 years. A lot of time, and work with people. And now I sit next to someone who was born and raised in Texas and lived in Houston for the last 20 years. And he's a Dallas fan, but he grew up as a Houston Oilers fan, right? So he hated that the team moved away, and then his mind never came back. But he gets so upset about J.J. Watt, so upset. He's like, that guy, and he's tweeting out at 5 a.m, bench pressing like 500 pounds and, putting in the work, getting up, working up a sweat first thing, and all, like me, self, look at me. And and then like the hurricane happened in Houston. And he raised a shit ton of money and was he was president in all of it.
I mean, you raise money whether you're an asshole or not.
Yes.
You raise a lot of money.
And so like it becomes this thing where like there's no middle ground. Like people like love him like a saint or hate him like a devil. And there's no one who's just like JJ Watt, whatever.
My point in bringing him up is that you do have a prima donna. There are prima donnas in the NFL that could do that and screw up a team. I don't think Chase is that guy. So
nope.
My total expectation, being a DeMatha guy, yes, I'm wearing my DeMatha, even though we lost.
We didn't plan this, but I'm rocking Mission McNamara.
I had to wear my DeMatha gear and support my boys and
Class
Bill McGregor in a heck of a season. but to also support Chase and say this is where he learned hard work. This is where he learned that it's a team thing, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna be completely bought into the fact that he's not superhuman. He's not gonna come back and have 10 sacks in his first game,
No.
but he's gonna come back and make this defense even better than the way it's been playing, and that's a fact. It's got to be a fact.
He raised money, Greg, and he donated money, and he was also like giving people piggyback rides through 8 feet of water, and I mean it was nuts. He was, I don't know, it was crazy if you heard the stories. But Chase Young coming back is a no brainer. It's going to make us better, and it's a luxury. It's a luxury that it's unheard of, just to be able to get a player add a player of his talent level, and people can argue about what he's done so far. It doesn't matter. He's young. He's got a career in front of him. He's awesome. The defense, last year and out of the gate this year, a cause for concern at various times. Obviously, Jack Del Rio's been under a ton of heat at various times, and the idea
Shouldn't be now.
he shouldn't be now. We made some changes.
And he better keep his mouth shut.
Well, he will.
He won't be.
He'll be fine. And the Cam Curl, Derek Forrest safety duo in the back, the Kendall Fuller, St. Just combo at corner,
I think
and the defensive front. That's
really,
our whole season right now.
Really, the defensive backs right now are they're heroes. I mean, the front guys are getting it done, but they're doing what they've been drafted and paid to do. I think the back end right now is what really has rounded this defense out. And the middle guys, I mean, Jamin Davis is obviously getting better. We got some
safeties.
dudes.
The safeties
we got some dudes there
are running it.
Yes, but I mean, it's the back end right now that is, in my opinion, the most impressive guy is St. Just. That's just me.
Because people are going to put the ball in the air, and the ball's going to find you. He's made bad plays. He's made good plays. He plays super long. He plays physical. And I mean, I can't say enough. Again, the Derek Forrest and Cam Curl back end, and even when they bring in McCain and some of these guys, because of the ability, because of the way in which we've been pressuring the quarterback for the last few weeks, and at times throughout the season, but because of the way we're, hey, it's a matter of time. The quarterback's got to get the ball out. Guys have been getting it out quick. That's where our cornerbacks. That's what we need for them. If we can make them guard for 4 and 5 seconds of play or more, I mean, no one does that. There's only a couple guys in the league that can do that. So, but we've also had guys who couldn't cover for the 2 seconds we needed them to cover. We've had that issue where guys are, where we can't even line up a guy on the line of scrimmage. He's got to play 10 yards off the ball, and we've watched people pick us apart by throwing quick hitters to the outside and make a tackle. So,
but really, I'm
excited.
That back piece has come together since Jackson's been gone.
Of course,
thank God.
Yeah.
So I think once again, when you kind of step back and look at it, Ron's sort of,
made some good calls.
Yeah, his very deliberate, steady stewardship, even though it kind of gets us frustrated from time to time and kind of like, what the hell is he doing? After a while, again, turns out to have been good moves. He didn't panic.
We did. Our entire 4, in our starting secondary, if you look at, Forrest, Curl, St. Just, and Fuller, just those 4 guys. Obviously, we drafted all 4 of those guys. We didn't draft McCain, but we drafted those 4 guys plus our front 4 and our inside guys. So, Jamin Davis, he polishes it all off. Now, he has to also be a first-round talent for us. He's not Chase Young, but he was
he's
a first
not playing
round.
first-round talent yet.
But he has been playing well enough this year to benefit from all the really defensive goodness around him. So our safeties and corners covering and our front 4 playing the way they have made Jamin Davis look so much better in his second year, and I think he's been a part of that reason too. I think he's played well enough to warrant everyone noticing that he has made a huge step in his second year. He's getting to the ball, and he's actually I think before the end of the season, I think he's going to be the one that makes a play that wins a game, like against the 49ers, for example, or against the Cowboys. Maybe one of those Giants games, but I think he's going to be a game-winning play type player before the end of this year.
Well, I mean, Jamin Davis did have 5 combined tackles. He was third on the team and 1 QB hit. Only gave up 8 yards and was targeted 3 times in the pass game. So he only gave up 8 yards. I mean, that's pretty damn good. Now,
That's
obviously,
pretty
it's
damn
the
good.
Texans, but hell, that he wasn't even doing that a year ago. So it's coming along. It's coming along. Love how it's going, but the defense is what is getting this team wins.
Well, we gave up less than 150 total yards. That's unheard of. I think in the first half they had. I forget what the number was. It was super low. It was like something super sad. But 148 total yards, and um, once again, the time of possession. We had a 10-minute advantage in time of possession, and the time of possession. Now, you want to do that against Houston. You hope to do it against Houston, but we also just did it against Philadelphia, one of the best teams in the league. The time of possession is becoming a thing, and that's
Time of
because
possession is only a great stat when it's a huge disparity like it has been.
it has been, so we're averaging, at least 11 or 12 minutes more than our opponent over the last 2 or 3 games. And the reason why, switching to the offensive side of the ball, is Antonio Gibson and Brian Robinson.
Yep.
Obviously we'll save Heineke,
And we've seen this.
but the running game has been working in a ridiculous way. And quite honestly, as much as I love Antonio Gibson, and I do, and he's stirring the Kool-Aid, the carries that Brian Robinson has taken away from him are meaningful carries, and they're not Antonio Gibson carries. Like, to ask Antonio Gibson to get 3.5 to 4 yards on 3 straight plays to keep the clock running for 1.5 to 2 minutes. And, because they've been doing that lately. They've been saying, okay, Taylor, here's what we're going to do. We're going to hand it off to you 3 straight times. And he gets a first down in those 3 plays. It works clock. It keeps our offense on the field. And then they start doing other things. Like, that's not Antonio Gibson's game. And I don't want it to be his game because that allows him to play his game, which
It's
is
not.
catch
I don't
balls.
know why they're not giving those to Robinson.
They haven't been
right
in the
now.
last couple of years. Like, he hasn't been
Many weeks.
Well, but I'm saying, no, in a couple of years that he's been in the league, he hasn't proven to be like a pounder.
No.
A 25. I mean, Brian Robinson. Do you think if we didn't have Gibson and things were going our way, can't you envision him being a 20 to 25 carry guy?
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, every game, that's tough. I mean, that's a lot of carries.
It is a lot of carries, but in the offenses like the Nick Chubbs of the world and Derrick Henrys,
even then, you get a McKissick who's going to get more carries, or you got another a Barber behind that's going to take some too. I mean,
Yeah.
It's not just like Gibson goes away and that's it. Robinson just takes the rest. That said, we've seen this before, right? Last year, when they went on a 4-game winning streak, the running game, Scott Turner said, "We're going to go old school, boys club, I write, and just run the ball." And it works. It works until it doesn't. And when it doesn't, because you're up against, a really good defense that can stop the run and it forces you to throw, he doesn't have the play action to play off of. That gets guys open a little bit more, that he can, it gives them a little bit better of a window or a bucket to drop it into. When it starts getting to those teams, because these teams have not been, we exposed the Eagles, right, on their
run defense. They've hired every available defensive lineman.
We expose them
since
on
then.
that, and then we do the same thing to the Texans.
Actually, good names.
So, I mean, hopefully we can keep this going. It's what's scary is we're gonna hit that buzzsaw that's gonna stop the run game, and then it's gonna be God. I don't know what the hell's gonna happen.
Well,
but
Brian
that's
Robinson,
been a formula with this team, and that's a formula with Taylor Heineke. To be honest,
well, but hold on,
with you.
before we get to Heineke, Brian Robinson is built to fall forward. Like the way he runs, and I'm not saying he's better than Antonio Gibson necessarily or whatever, but when he runs the ball, for whatever reason, he's behind his pads more. He's running forward. He's bouncing
because he's
forward.
a natural running back,
And he does
Gibson
it
is
in a
not.
way that you can play an old school running game. And that makes your offensive line better because offensive linemen would always prefer to run block than pass block.
But even Robinson has said he's still not 100%.
No, but
So
he's
maybe that's
but he's
that, I
but,
mean,
but what
maybe-
he's but what he's doing.
Maybe that's why that we're.
But we have
seeing
them
it.
both. But we'd have them both. The way that they're being,
Oh.
they're both getting touches and it's working. And I don't think you change that up. But I'm just saying, I think Brian Robinson is one of those guys that could get 20 plus. But that the way that he runs the ball, he gets through. He squeezes through tight holes in the middle of the defensive line in a way that that Gibson just hasn't done since he's gotten here. He doesn't get through the line. He kind of just runs into people. He's a big boy. He pushes people forward, but Robinson gets he gets through tackles at the line of scrimmage.
But I also see Gibson running different
Sure.
than he did. He's looking to run and punish a little bit more than he used to.
Ken Harris notices the Damian Pierce stat line, 8 total yards. That was a shocker. That's one of those things where you play a team and everyone expects you to win, including the other team, and everyone knows it's going to happen. But one guy still gets his, and so you kind of thought Damian Pierce. He's the only guy they have.
They're professionals.
They're professional, and he still only had 8 yards. That's
Yeah.
that's the thing. Even when we were bad, we still had Terry Allen could drop 120 on you in a Redskins loss. Those days were numerous. So
London Fletcher could have a 15 tackle game.
Exactly. A Hall of Fame. You could have 20 tackles. And you know what? He probably did because they were on the field. They were on the field more than dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, God, that was tough. But, all right. So we don't have to talk too much about the offensive line. I like the way that they're able to run block more.
There's not much to talk about. They're playing their asses off right now.
But they're getting to run block more, and that
getting
is
the job done enough to
advantage
to be successful
for our R5 guys. And R5 guys are being able to move a guy like Lucas in, being able to, which is all being able to get Cosme and him out, or even bring a guy like Cosme in, and that's sideline. That's a lot of meat over there. Taylor Heineke is playing his butt off. He still is, and it wasn't at the end of the day you're not going to.
He didn't make any mistakes.
No interceptions. 80-ish QB rating, less than 200 yards passing, but again, and not a little over 50% accuracy.
I think it was 57. Yeah, I had it up.
So, but the thing about Taylor Heineke that I liked this week, and it's also a function of guys getting healthy in week 12, which almost never happens in this league, is finding Logan Thomas. He got 7 targets to the big tight end, 60 plus yards to Logan. Obviously, we had hoped he would be more of a factor in this offense before now. He has looked slow and rehab-ish for the last month.
Yeah.
But and I'm not saying he's there yet either. I don't think he'll tell you he's there yet either. But locating him in the passing game is so important, not just for beating Houston, but we have to have other teams look at our tight end as a legitimate receiving threat. Otherwise, Terry McLaurin is never going to be less than double covered ever again.
True.
We have to have the safety respect on Logan Thomas.
And for all the recent Curtis Samuel haters, thank God he has turned out to be what he is.
Yeah.
And has been able to, take that pressure off of Terry. Heineke 15 for 27, 191, no TDs, no interceptions.
Yep.
In a winning effort, you'll take it. You don't love it.
Well,
I love the fact he didn't make any mistakes. He didn't put the team in peril. And the thing about him, I've been very outspoken that he is not the future. We don't need to re-up him and make sure he's ours yet, like you had suggested 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But
which we should have.
But God damn, is he fun to watch. And I do believe it's not just bullshit, even when Ron Very points it out, that these other teammates, it does something. It absolutely does something. And it has done something since he's taken over. And I don't know. I didn't see last week's show. Sorry, I was sick. Couldn't make it.
You couldn't watch it between
But
then and now.
but
It's unbelievable.
dude, there's no way. But I don't know what you all said, but this is not Carson Wentz's team anymore.
Oh yeah. No, we're past that. I
Okay,
mean,
this is
Taylor
not-
Taylor Heineke's already been named the starter going forward.
You just, I mean,
Carson Wentz comes back as a backup.
because he's not the future either. And right now, you don't mess this up.
Well, the future is having a quarterback who can oversee 153 yards on the ground. Our defense only has to play, 40, 50 plays total, 50 total plays. It's still not that many. We get off the field on third down. They were 2 for 13 on third down, and
The
Houston.
Texans are terrible, bro.
So our style of play is we have a defense that we believe in. Therefore, our offense has to cater what they do based on that, and that means run the ball, throw underneath, keep the clock rolling, put the when you have to let Tressway flip the field for you, and I think this game against Atlanta is going to be interesting because I think it's a clash of styles that are similar. Marcus Mariota, he's Heineke-esque. He's a little bit. He can run a little bit better than Heineke, but he's unsexy. He throws for 175 to 210 yards. On a good week, he'll grab a touchdown or run for a touchdown. They just lost their number one guy, Kyle Pitts. He's out for at least a month, and they didn't have really anybody else. They got a kid, Drake London, who's a good-looking rookie, but they don't have really weapon-wise. Cordero Patterson who's great, is about all they have. So once again, we're going against a pretty one-dimensional
Don't kick it to him.
situation. No, he takes carries. He does everything.
I know.
And he catches the ball.
But he did just pass. He's most kickoffs in history.
He's had incredible staying power. He should have gotten more.
Kickoff returns, I should say, in history.
Yeah, he should have gotten more. He should have gotten carries. I mean, he's not been featured, nearly enough. But he'll be hard to deal with.
It's any given Sunday, man. I hear what you're saying.
But our defense can handle their offense.
This defense can handle. I don't care
That's the key.
I don't care what style it is.
We're still gonna have to
Marcus
score.
Mariota doesn't scare me, and I certainly don't
No.
think he scares Sweat,
No,
Allen, Payne,
not at all.
or Chase.
No, none of them.
So I mean, bring it on, bro. It's whether or not the offense can outscore their offense, because our offense that's the big question mark, and I don't even know anything about Atlanta's D.
Atlanta has a yeoman-like defense. They play because you know what? Because their defense. So the way our offense benefits from our defense, our offense benefits from. Our defense is the strength of our team. Atlanta helps out their defense similarly. Atlanta can extend drives. They can get first downs and stay on the field and keep their defense from getting overworked. And they have been able to be opportunistic because teams have had to go hunting for points in the second half against them.
How are they against the run?
I'll tell you exactly how they are against the run. I want to say they're middle of the pack, but there might be
that's
they
good.
might be heavier than that, a little bit more than middle of the pack. But at the end of the day, their defense is not as good as our defense. They are not. They don't have as much. They don't have the same amount of talent.
But they don't have to be for our offense to be stymied just a little bit.
We don't want to be stymied.
We're
No one
not.
wants
We're
to be
not
stymied.
scoring more than 23 points.
See, that's where I disagree. That's where I
Really?
disagree.
You
Yeah,
think we're gonna have like some breakdown?
we scored more than 23 points the last 2 weeks. And
Actually, the offense only scored 17.
well, it's a team effort. Tressway holds for Joey Sly. He's been picking up some points lately too. So rushing yards, Falcons. Let's see how far down they are. They are, they're middle of the pack. In terms of we give up.
Good. That means the formula should work one more time,
It'll work.
whether they know it's coming or not.
They've given up. No, they've given.
Now,
given up.
will that formula work against the
Hold
Giants?
on. Not 200 more yards than us. 220 more yards.
I think that we'll figure that out.
Passing, however, they are much more middle of the pack. We're still above them in both.
Which is why the formula works there, right?
Yeah.
You pound it, you suck them up, you get them closer to the line of scrimmage, you get more guys paying attention to the run, and then you do a play action over top, or you do a play action and sneak somebody out into a flag or the side or a flat, and then you're off to the races because you have a big X factor play that moves the chains and gets you a whole chunk of yards, gets you within striking distance, right? That's the whole formula. That's how it's supposed to work. And for against a middle of the back team like Atlanta and their defense, it sure is the winning formula and can be and ought to be this weekend.
Ken Harris wants the crowd to be a part of this game. He notes that it's been a long time since we had a quote-unquote home game.
Well, Ken, if you sold fish sandwiches at the stadium, there would be a whole hell of a lot more people
fish
going.
sandwiches. But I will say, I think I might. This might be my game back.
You're going to go?
I think I might go.
Wait a minute, dude. You're going to Vermont tomorrow.
I come back on Saturday to go to this game. This is my return. I'm
Clark Griswold.
I want.
You got the station wagon all
family
packed up and ready
the
to go. The truckster's ready to go. Huh?
No, I think there'll be a lot of Falcons fans there. Yes, but I think that it's not the.
Why all of a sudden the itch to go?
It's not the Eagles, not the Giants. It's not the Falcons are a team in close enough proximity to us, whose fan base I think has been here in bigger numbers, but I went to the game for 20 years. They are not a team whose fan base travels as much as other teams. There's teams from farther away that put more fans at FedEx than the Falcons.
Atlanta's a great city. Why do you want to leave?
But because people can come here for cheap tickets.
I guess.
You stay at a hotel and you can buy cheap because.
So did your buddy Friedman? What was his name? Justin Friedman. Did he call you up and give you
Jason Friedman?
Jason Friedman. Did he give you an offer you couldn't refuse? Why all of a sudden you?
I got an offer I couldn't refuse.
Oh, all right.
I did. I got an offer.
Somebody said, "Hey, you wanna?"
Yeah.
Wanna go?
More on that later. But I do think
that one.
We do need Callaway to get involved here as our main sponsor. Callaway needs to put some seat cushions in that stadium.
There's probably like a disclaimer that you're not allowed to say the sponsor before, as if.
I'm just saying the commercial came on before our show. Therefore, Callaway is our sponsor. I am excited about the match, but I don't think that it's
about the match. Did you just call a football game a match?
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited about the match, the match of these styles. That's what we're talking about. How the clash of the styles in this contest is. The match that we had with Houston was terrible versus not terrible, and we won because we're not terrible. The match of styles against Philadelphia was a running offense against a terrible run defense. I think with Atlanta, I think it's again. I think
it's more Texans.
It's dominant defense setting the tone and being the story, and I think that's what is going to dictate our play calls on offense. It's going to dictate almost everything else we do, special teams, all of it.
Of course.
So, and it should, right? So, I still think we should be favored in this game. So it still technically has to be a game that goes in the category of games you're supposed to win. Like last week was a game you're supposed to win.
I had this game as a win back in August.
Let's go back. I got it right here. Coming into this game, you and I both had this team at 8-3, not as far off as it was looking like it was going to be. 8-3. We both had a win against.
What's our record?
Where we're 6-5.
6-5, right?
So we got a couple of these wrong. Obviously, we
2 games off.
Didn't beat Detroit, and we didn't beat Philly out of the gate. So those hurt us. But
I don't know. Did we both have Philly as wins the second time around?
I had it as a win the second time around, as did you.
Oh, really?
We both had us beating Philly. Apparently, we're idiots when it comes to...
I had them taking both. Okay.
We had no idea they were going to be an undefeated team 8 weeks into the season.
We were having a fun Tuesday that August, I guess. That we were feeling good.
It wasn't
feeling
too
good,
bad.
Lewis.
Looking good. Let's see here. Billy Ray, sorry.
That's fantastic. You have that.
Yeah, of course. So we both have the Atlanta game as a win, and we both have the New York Giants game as a win. So in order to catch, because you have them finishing 12-5, so basically they can't lose another game, and you'll be right. I got it at 11.
That's not gonna happen.
Got them at 11-6, so I have a teeny bit of wiggle room. We'll see, but I know that there's games we should we're gonna look back and kick ourselves with. But I don't feel like that about the
Well, the
Vikings game
Vikings
and the
was.
Titans.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
but
of
the
course.
Titans too. We were on the 2 yard line with enough plays to punch
Yeah,
the ball in.
true.
So games we could have won certainly, and we would like to have seen us win. But I also think like 6-5 is exactly who we are. And
Yeah.
I'm excited about what it can grow into, and I think 6-5 is right where we need to be. We're doing just fine.
So you wouldn't want us any better. You want us right at
No,
6-5.
because I think we're still gonna have to play the 49ers tough. I don't watching
As
them
opposed
lately.
to
Maybe beat them. I mean, they're gonna be. We'll see how them in Seattle pan out. But in 4 weeks, San Francisco is either in control of the NFC,
they're looking pretty good ever since
which could
McCaffrey
help
showed
us,
up.
and we are kind of giant killers,
This is true.
as it turns out. But it, you got to figure. I mean, you can't lose. You can't do worse than split against the Giants. I think you got to beat them both times. Who knows what you're going to get in Cleveland when Deshaun Watson comes to town? That's going to be weird. Talk about a team that can run the ball.
He's
all day.
weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, anytime he's in town, it's gonna be.
And
weird.
then you got the Cowboys, who
they got a weird quarterback that likes to do weird things
Mm-hmm.
that gets him in weird trouble.
he's a weird guy. Ace. What's the score?
Ooh, so we're going straight to that, huh? All right. I said that we can't score more than 23. I was only saying that because we scored 23 this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And then the offense actually probably underperformed in some respects. Maybe should get more points on the board. So, because we're riding on the momentum, because we're coming off a win like that, and because we're taking on a less, an inferior opponent, I believe.
Inferior opponent.
I say 27-13 Skins.
27-13. Ken Harris has 24-20. I haven't seen anything from AGH or EO or Cohen yet, but
It's a closer game than that, but we get something in the end, and it's just we can finish our awesome Thanksgiving weekend with a very comfortable, win.
I think
It's gonna feel good.
Joey Sly is going to end up with some points for us this week. So I got to have an alternate, number there, and I think we're going to give it. And they have like one of the best field goal kickers in the league over the last couple of years, in Young
I
Hu.
gave him 2.
So I think they are. I think he gets 4 field goals.
Whoa! All right,
I think Joey Sly gets 3. So
all right.
Atlanta with 4 field goals. I
12.
think they score 19 points.
Okay.
I think because I think Young Ho he's gonna get like a 50+ yarder, maybe even 2. Where our defense, his range, when you're trying to make stops, and we're gonna
You're the
make stops.
kicker guy. I don't know. You know more about kickers than I do.
He's good, and
Only 'cause I don't
And I
care-
think
I
our
don't
defense is
care
gonna
about 'em.
shut him down, the offense, but they're still gonna cross the 40 once or twice. So I think they got 19 points in them, and so I think our offense is going to have to do more. And I want to say we're going to get 27 or 30 points, but I
That
think
means you're asking. Okay, so you're asking
Sly's going to
the
get
offense
3
to
field
score
goals.
at least 10.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be 30-19, and I think we're going to get another defensive touchdown. That's the key to this game.
So you're going 37.
No, 30-19. That includes
That
defensive
includes
touchdown.
the defense touchdown.
And I think it's going to be necessary. It's going to come with the right part of the game. It's going to right when you need it the
Feasible.
most. Yeah.
Not realistic, but feasible.
30-19 doesn't win many square pools,
No, it doesn't.
but they'll win it this week. All right, everybody. Well, we are going to be signing off before Thanksgiving, so we want to make sure we wish everyone out there a happy Turkey Day. And it's become football day, I think, successfully over the last however many years. I mean, Cowboys and Lions were always okay, But when they made the choice to turn Thanksgiving and really focus more on
Add
the
one more
matchups
game.
and add the game when they can actually pick an absolute awesome matchup to finish the night with, that's when it like got real. And so as much as
There
I hate,
actually is usually a pretty good
oh
college
yeah, of
game on
course,
too.
they
So.
have the entire world hostage. It's like literally turkeyed and tripped to chlorofanned up, on a couch, and there's nowhere to go except eat pumpkin pie and watch football. So they're giving us, I think they're giving us. Well, we're getting Giants Dallas, but in the nightcap, what's the nightcap, guys? It's right on the tip of my tongue.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, Detroit's playing Buffalo. Maybe Buffalo Detroit. Maybe that might be the night game, but it's Giants Commanders Detroit Buffalo, and
Then
we'll
the
see.
night game is the new one.
But the Lions and Cowboys can still play the night game. So now they have 3 slots and they can move anywhere in any of
all
them. Vikes Pats, that's right. So and the Minnesota New England game, that's the night game. I believe that's the night game, and I think that's what Robert Cohen's is saying. And I'm not here to tell you how to bet. I'm not here to tell anyone what wagers to make.
As the am I still
Yes,
general
you're still
counsel?
general counsel.
Yeah, I would advise not to
Don't take this is for entertainment purposes
give
only.
any betting advice.
I think this is the week whatever they tell you, whatever the number is,
But it's an iron lock.
it's an iron lock. Whatever the number is for Justin Jefferson catches and yards, I don't care what it is. Take the over. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is.
Very specific bet, dude.
It is. Well, because whatever that line is, get into it and get into it right away. I think this is the week Kirk Cousins throws to Justin Jefferson every other play when it's at its slowest. I think he just turns and throws to number 18 all night long, every single time. I think he could have 15 or 16 carries.
threw one like this. Actually,
Yes.
they had it like on slow mo, and he just
I don't know what the number is yet. We'll know it either
awesome
tonight or
when you have a
tomorrow
guy
morning.
you could throw a ball like that to.
I understand Pat's defense is good. Justin Jefferson's better, and he's going to have a million targets. And if you give that guy the amount of targets he's about to get, he's going to blow up. I like the Vikings in this game, which I hate to say, and I won't bet on that because that's just asking for.
I advise you not to bet ever.
Well, but I'm just saying.
I don't ever. Bet,
I don't want
and
my
I feel great
Thanksgiving.
About myself.
I don't want my Thanksgiving hinging on Kirk
bad
Cousins at quarterback for anybody. I don't want to be at the end of my turkey
But
day.
I know I'm going to have a great Thanksgiving no matter what, and I don't bet.
Well, that's what, and I'm not going to bet to preserve that. But if I'm sitting there needing Kirk Cousins to do something at 10:30 on Thursday night after having a great day,
It's a terrible position to be in.
I'm not going to put myself in that
No,
position.
don't ever do that.
But I might put myself in that position.
Don't. I don't.
I might have to. We'll see. I don't know. That someone just gave us a thumbs up. I think that means they want us to bet on Kirk Cousins. All right. Well, enjoy.
And
your
don't you
football
take
games.
betting advice from the board. It's vice versa.
No. I'll always listen to what people have to say.
Okay.
I believe that Justin Jefferson is going to break target records and potentially the Thanksgiving Day. Whatever the Thanksgiving Day catch record is,
Ooh.
I think it's in jeopardy.
Okay.
The course record is under fire right this very second. So we'll see about that. We'll see. I could be. That'll be what we talk about. We'll just say whether I was right
Jot
or
that
wrong
down.
with that. I made a mental note.
I don't know. I think you got Jack.
Benjamin's got this. All right. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We appreciate you guys for being with us again. If you can hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, help us. We're on a push for 5,000, 5K, and 23K. You know what I'm saying? He's Tim Strachan.
Hey, thank you to the board. Thank you to all First Amendment supporters. Thank you to the WCAC that provided a great game. Congratulations, St. John's, Pat Ward, very deserving.
Yes.
Great job, DeMatha, Bill McGregor. It was a fun game. Also to Carroll, the victors of the Metro Conference.
Yes,
who took
old
on
school.
PVI. It was a fun weekend. Hopefully a lot of you joined us, and if you did, we appreciate that. Have an awesome Thanksgiving, and we'll see you guys for hopefully another Victory Tuesday next week.
If you aren't already following at It's Raining Ken on Twitter, I will be sending pictures out of the experience. And I will tell you this.
Wow, there was so much wrong with that
No.
sentence.
Bring it
up
on.
until the very end.
And I think you're going to be very surprised.
It sounded more like a
Put this,
solicitation.
very surprised at where these pictures come from. That's just a little tease.
Okay.
Little tease. It's going to be exciting. So do yourself a favor.
Make sure you
and,
have your block.
Yes, make sure all the filters are on. But it's going to be
all
cool.
your security's
I think it's going to
updated.
be some close-up images at FedEx on Sunday afternoon. So,
Whoa.
Oh yeah. I think so. I will, and I'm not going to be greedy. I'm going to share it. Whatever I
Whoa.
see, you're
I don't know
see.
what you're talking about anymore. This is getting
yeah.
dirty. I
So
don't know.
enjoy Turkey Day. We will be back next Tuesday night. Hopefully, talk about a win, as T said. But more than that, appreciating and being thankful. You know, we'll get from a sports standpoint, which is such a small part of the world, but it's crazy to be this thankful for 6-5. But I am. I'm so thankful to be 6-5. I think we are the greatest 6-5 team I've ever seen in my life, and I don't think we're going to be 6-5 for long. I mean, I think this is just going straight this way.
Yeah, well, technically,
A lot of things. I mean, this is a 6 to midnight
technically
scenario.
we can't
Obviously,
stay 6-5 because
we can't stay
with
6-5
each
forever.
game- No, you can't.
No, sometimes you just have to. You know, if you love something, let it. You got to set it free. I love being 6-5. But I'm gonna set it free.
Okay.
And you know, if it loves me back, who knows?
It's certainly loving you back. It looks like.
We will be back next Tuesday night. We are still live. T, any last thoughts?
No, I've pretty much given them all.
All right. And don't call him the best color man in the business for nothing, folks.
Eat and enjoy. Gluttony starts tomorrow.
It does. Wednesday, Thanksgiving
Starts
Eve.
with my junior high buddies luncheon.
Oh God.
Starts
Where?
Tomorrow. Tomorrow it's at something in the Hound.
Fox and the Hound?
No, not Fox in the Hound, but something in the Hound.
Lady
Home
in the Hound?
Home in the Hound.
Lady
or
and the
something.
Tramp?
Downtown DC somewhere. I don't know. But that's where it starts. Starts tomorrow.
All right. We
Try to,
have
you know,
outgrown
have
6
have
and
a
5.
lazy night, you know, on Wednesday night, you know, get it stretched out.
Yeah.
Get it ready to go.
Get it ready to
Enjoy
go.
it, every bit of it.
Good luck to the United States on Friday. Good luck to Wales as well. AGH, obviously, we will be rooting for you on a going forward basis, at least against England. At least against England. I can't say I'm not rooting just a teeny bit for Iran. Actually, I can't even root for Iran.
No, hell no. Fuck
Damn
no.
it. I
Never
need
will.
them to win, but I can never
Why
root
would you
for
ever
them.
do that? No, you can't. No, we don't
It's
need
the
them to
it's the
win
Tooth and Hound.
ever.
The
The
Tooth and Hound.
Hound. That's where we're going.
The Jersey guy hooked you up.
Yeah, we're going to the Tooth and Hound.
Greg. We'll see you next Tuesday night. Kevin, T, Ken, subscribe. We're still live.
You know, we've done like pre-Thanksgiving talking about food and stuff. We should do a post-game on Tuesday. We'll do post-game what we ate.
Food analysis?
Food analysis. Post-food analysis. Bring your game, guys. Tell us what was the best, what was the worst.
Bring your leftovers. I love leftovers.
See ya.